All right. I just sent them, trying to get them on. So, all right. So let's start. Those of you who are viewing us, this is Barry, and we're waiting for Deborah to arrive. But I have Mehrad and Michele with me today. Welcome. Thanks for
Thank
joining us
you.
Thank you.
today. And there's your bios are so huge. It's like I don't even know where to start. You both are teachers of meditation, of yoga. You both are authors. Um, Mehrad, you also teach enlightened negotiation class. You wrote in a book called Enlightened Negotiation. Michele, I've read your book. It's called The 10th Door, A Spiritual Journey Through the Jungle, or something to that effect. And you've been frequent presenters at the ranch as well, correct?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I started on staff in 1987.
Wow. When
Yeah.
you were like 10 years old. So
Yeah.
it's a fun story while we're waiting for Deborah to show up. Tell the guests how you met.
Oh, how Mehrad and I met?
Yeah, because you're a married couple. We can say that, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
have been married. Well, we just celebrated 28 and we're in the 29th. And Michelle can go on with the story.
Well, I was at the ranch, and Victoria Larea, who's in charge of the evening speakers, said to me that she had this wonderful man to fix me up with. And I said, "Oh, great." And she had him as her guest at the ranch. And I met him, and I thought he was really, really a wonderful person. Not necessarily my type, but a really wonderful person. And it was so interesting because he came to all my classes that day. He was her guest for the day, and he came to all my classes to check me out. So that's how we met. We met through the ranch. And so to still have
Wow.
this relationship with the ranch 30 years later, and we're both teaching there. It's
But
wonderful. It's
was it
family.
love at first sight?
No, not really.
Yes, she did. She had that. Yeah, actually, it's really good to mention that whenever we talked about love, we mentioned growing love. And that has been our motto that, to make it even like siempre mejor, that the ranch's motto. And we are always looking for growing love.
Oh, that's wonderful. So tell the guests where you guys are quarantined at.
Well, we're quarantined in a really wonderful place. We actually bought a place in Oceanside, California, in Southern California, and it's beautiful. We've got a gorgeous garden and lots of time for introspection and meditation and working in the garden. And but for me, it was really important to continue teaching
Right.
in whatever way that I could. And I discovered Zoom. And at the beginning of the pandemic, I was inspired to do a daily meditation, complimentary. And I did it for 40 days and had a really fantastic group of people, several hundred people who continued for those 40 days. And now I'm offering a course that actually started on Monday on Zoom. It's a summer meditation twice a week, and so we have a good group going there.
And how about you,
Well,
Rod?
it has been amazing. The technology has forced everybody to look at it differently, and it has been a great opportunity for people that have extra time and to utilize it. And my teaching and my consultation work has been on Zoom, and organization are really looking at deeper values, things that really means in life. And this COVID has given us, really has forced us to pause
Mhm.
and be more introspective and to see what are really important in our lives. And so the conversation has really changed, Barry. It just conversation, comes up. People have never used the word love. It comes more and more. I can see from leaders and in business. And so, if we embrace this chaotic situation, that's unstable, unprecedented event. There's a lot of lesson to it, and some people are really jumping on board, and it has been a wonderful positive side of it that most people don't get to talk a lot about it because of the news and negative part of it, which is there, and we have to be aware of it. But there's another part of it that has been educational.
Yeah. Do you advise people to avoid the news or small bits of it?
You know,
Certain times
like
of the day?
anything else, it's good to be aware of what's going on and be selective to get the news that we can rely on and go on with our life and looking at other um, opportunities that are unfolding and we have to be cognizant of.
What's really inspiring to me is the number of people that are wanting to be introspective, that they're seeing this as their home, breaking up a lot of patterns and distractions, and they really want to improve themselves and ask themselves really why we're here. And I think those big questions, I mean, ultimately in life, those are the questions. And suddenly we're looking at those questions right now. And especially realizing that this pandemic is not lightening up in the summer. You know, it's not. And life is definitely going to be different. And how do we find that place within ourselves that's stable and steady despite everything that's going on in the world? And that really is one of the goals of the spiritual path and of meditation.
Right. I agree. So Deborah's raising her hand, but she said she can't access to get onto the site. So I don't have time I can't go back and do it right now for her. So we might have to go without her today. I'm sorry. But
Oh,
I know I have you guys. She's on the other side of the ranch right now. So she's not able to access for some reason. We were just on a Zoom call before this call too, so it's kind of crazy that she's not able to get onto this one. But
Well,
c'est
please
la vie.
congratulate her for that wonderful award that she won yesterday, and
Right.
congratulations to you as well, because
Yeah, Travel and Leisure. Yeah, Travel and Leisure named us the best destination spa, international destination spa. So it's wonderful. Yeah.
and really well deserved, really truly well deserved,
Well,
because it has been always the leader in the spa industry, and the holistic approach that has been embraced from the beginning makes it really special to
and
be part of the ranch.
I'll have to say that when Deborah did her little acceptance speech, which is one of the reasons I love her so much, she said, "This award is for every guest that's ever come to the ranch, because it's starting from 1940. The guests have created the ranch, you know, and the instructors, the staff, the guests. It's a big family. It's like she always says the ranch is its own person, and it's kind of grown from everyone who's been, like, you guys are a part of the soul of the ranch. I'm a part of the soul of the ranch. Every guest that's ever been here has contributed to this energy that's here right now." So
that is very much the case. In addition to that, also there is a quality of leadership and dedication from Deborah, from Sir Olivia, Professor, and all of the staff, it's your life, and how you are leading it and committed to excellence has made it what it is. And again, congratulations.
And the Mexican staff.
Oh my God, the Mexican staff.
They're amazing, such beautiful, beautiful people who are truly aware that they are serving. And they're serving people's growth, and they're consciously doing it, and day in and day out. And sometimes, Barry, when I go to the ranch, I see the same waiters that used to wait on me when I was a fitness instructor there in the 80s.
Right.
They're still there. And so it's just so heartwarming.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about. I know that Deborah and I were going to talk about with Mehrad. Deborah has taken your enlightened negotiation course twice, and I've taken it once. And you speak to that, and it's basically, I don't know, I'm going to summarize it. You're applying yoga principles to the business world and to
Ye-
negotiation processes.
Exactly. That is one of the elements that are pillars of the spiritual practices that, is applied spirituality. And I go beyond just the business. It's really about interactions, how
Mhm.
we interact with each other and from the spiritual perspective, and what guides us and what should we um, follow when we do this interaction. Sometimes it's just a simple communication, sometimes it's just a persuasion, and then there is negotiation. Each is essential, but each is a little bit different, requires a different mindset and a different skill set. And
Mhm.
so those are the one that I invite people to embrace and share. And frankly, when Deborah came the first time, I was really touched that she has been so successful. But another thing about Deborah, I have to really give credit, is her sense of curiosity. To
Mhm.
me, Deborah embodies curiosity. And even at that age, she showed up and she uh, took more notes than anybody else. And she really, really got a lot from the course. And so she signed up again, which again, I was touched and surprised. And I'm thrilled that it has helped so many people. And right now, one of the problems is the domestic violence, that people are staying at home, and the conflict in our relationship is really coming to roost at this point. So we have to learn this, and we have to promote them in our relationship.
Right. And I think it's refreshing. And could you imagine if all the world leaders would apply
Mm.
relationship concepts to how they lead? What a wonderful world it would be. So it's a great message.
And we are really hardwired for that.
Hmm.
And when we
Yeah.
don't do that, we are ignoring those natural laws.
Yeah. I think what Michelle said earlier too is that people are reaching out and reflecting and want to do those things now. And I think that's what it's going to take. And it's great that a lot of people are doing that. Sometimes I fear that the circle that I hang out with in our ranch guests, we're already kind of there. We're not reaching the masses, but I hope that it starts to spread across the planet.
It definitely has a ripples effect. And
Hmm.
I always look at the ranch that, a circle of influential people come there, and
Hmm.
by their action, by their just being, they are
Hmm.
teaching other people. So I think we are reaching other population.
No, it's fantastic. And then the other thing is, I've had the opportunity to take one of your yoga and meditation retreats in Esalen with my daughter. That's what she wanted to do for her college graduation, and so that was wonderful. And Michelle, maybe briefly talk about, you both have studied with Walt Baptiste, and I know you extensively, Michelle, and
Yes.
that's what your book is a little bit about. Tell us a little bit about your book because it's a great book.
Oh, thank you, Barry. Well, it's funny. People say, how long did it take you to write your book? And I have to say 30 years because I had to live it first. But it's basically about my first 7 years of training with Walt Baptiste in Raja Yoga, which is more of the spiritual and mental aspects of yoga, getting hold of the mind. Mehrad was talking about mental purification. And it was in the jungles of El Salvador during the revolution. And I was primarily alone for most of that time. He would give me different tests,
Mm.
and I would do the test. And then he would come back a couple months later and give me another series of either meditations practices. One of the practices, he had me hold learn how to hold 10 poses for 1 hour. And I was, Thoreau says that when you're by yourself, you must make a schedule, otherwise you'll go mad, to quote Thoreau. And so I wasn't thinking about Thoreau at the time, but in a natural way, I set up a schedule for myself where a few hours in the morning, a few hours at lunch, a few hours in the afternoon, I would work on these postures. So he was really big on perfecting every aspect of ourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And he gave us practices for all those things. He was a former Mr. America. So with his wife, he and his wife, I studied with them for almost 30 years until his death. And it was an amazing experience. And I wrote about it in my book, The 10th Door, the story. And there's a lot of spiritual principles within the story. And I know Deborah loved it too. She thought it was great, so I appreciated that.
You were kind of you've been set up for quarantine. You did it already.
Right. No, it's really true. It hasn't been an issue for me.
Right.
A little bit now and then, a little stir crazy, but mostly no. It's been really a pleasure. So.
There's a quote, and I never can remember who says it. I just remember the quotes. But he said, 99% of who we are is what no other person will ever see or touch. And I think this being in quarantine and being with ourselves suddenly we're focusing on that 99% of ourselves that is inside. And sometimes it's so easy to just get distracted with life and everything going on that definite opportunity. If you want to use this as that opportunity, what a great opportunity it is.
Yes.
And it is one of those situations that, if you have experience, if you have done your homework, you have prepared yourself for utilizing those moments of seclusion and being by yourself and reflecting, it is a wonderful thing. But people who don't have those practices, they don't have that training, that is the challenge, that their mind drives them crazy. And the whole concept of taking ranch home is for moments like this, that you really get into those practices, and people who have attended the ranch have a different experience and have a different perspective about how they can use this time positively.
Right. And I think that also when you finding a way to I don't know, be easier on yourself too, because I know that during the quarantine I've been practicing meditation every morning, and sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'm getting like 10 seconds in this 10 minutes where my mind is not all over the place. But that's okay, right? Because you have to, it's an awareness and it's a practice.
It
doesn't just happen.
It's a practice.
It's a practice and it is cumulative.
One of the things I love, explanations I love about the mind and meditation, Swami Veda, who Deborah had come to the ranch for a month. He had met Mehrad bring him to the ranch, Swami Veda Bharati, for ashram month. And a lot of guests will remember that, and because he did come for a couple of years. And so some of the great masters compare meditation to diving into a stormy ocean. So you're diving into this ocean, and if you stay at the top, at the surface, you'll get tossed around and it'll be a miserable experience, the turmoil of the ocean. But if you dive in, if you relax and dive down a little bit farther, you're still aware of the ocean turmoil above. But if you look down, you begin to see that there's a stillness down in the ocean's depths. And that compares to the mind. When we first go to meditate and close our eyes, all we can see is our thoughts. And if we stay at that surface place, we're going to get tossed around. It's going to be a miserable experience, and we won't want to do it again. But if you realize that that's part of a process, and if you keep relaxing, you'll sink down into a much deeper place inside of yourself. And once you achieve that place inside of yourself, then when you come out to meet the world, it's a very different experience because you're coming from such a place of center within yourselves. You're not thrown around. And what used to be mountains become molehills. So I love that comparison. I think it's very apt.
It's a great analogy. I love that. I love that too, because I think that's what we're all trying to do right now is find a place to center. Because the world, I mean, if you turn on the news for 5 minutes, it's just chaotic, right? And it's there's a lot of turbulence on the top of the water right now, for sure.
Turbulence.
And but it's I like Mehrad mentioned the rippling effect, because if I feel like we're all connected, so if I can be calm, if Michele can be calm, it's all gonna spread, hopefully eventually to the masses, hopefully, or other people, or people around you at least.
That's true. And they usually compare that we are connected and there's a mind field that we all share. And that, when at the ideal level, is a calm surface of a lake. And every single mind could create ripples or just create that calmness. And how we contribute to that mind field is our gift, or is our otherwise negative part of what we are bringing to our society, to our community, to our family. And they did a study that when a group of mind focus on one thing, there's a order takes place in the universe. So I think this would be maybe a good idea right now for Michele guide us through a meditation. And if we focus on one thing, we are creating that order in the environment.
You know,
before
I begin, I would love to lead us in just a few minutes of meditation. In listening to your conversation with Mehrad about the importance of moving into center, and we contribute to the world around us depending on our effect about how we're feeling. Walt Baptiste used to say, "You're either an example or a warning." That was pretty good.
And we're probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask everybody to, however you're sitting right now, to make sure your spine is erect. One of the keys to meditation is an erect spine. And feel both feet, if you can, pressing firmly into the ground, so you make that connection of the base of yourself and the earth. And we'll begin with a short relaxation. So bring your attention now to the nostrils and feel the breath moving slowly in and out of the nostrils. Left nostril and right nostril, even and equal. Feel the touch of the breath on the hairs inside of the nostrils. And then please bring your attention now to the crown of the head and feel a wave of relaxation descending from the crown. Relaxing in the forehead. Relaxing in the two physical eyes. Relaxing in the cheekbones. In the upper jaw. And the lower jaw. Relaxing in the joints of the jaw. sides of the neck into the shoulders, and the arms resting on the thighs. Relax in the base of the throat, that tiny hollow at the base. Relax in the heart center of consciousness, between the breasts and beneath the sternum. Relax in the navel center and the surrounding organs. Relaxing in the abdomen and the abdominal organs. Feel yourself seated evenly, left and right, as you relax into the legs below. And then find a breath that you can breathe from the very bottoms of the feet all the way up the body through the trillions of cells to the very crown of the head. And from the crown, as you release the breath all the way down through all the cells to the base, a soothing breath, a calming breath. And now please bring your attention to the nostrils once again. Breathing in evenly and equally through both nostrils. Breathing out evenly and equally. Make the duration of the in-breath equal to the duration of the out-breath. And then we'll add a sacred word or words. For today, we'll take the Sanskrit mantra, so, hum. So as you breathe in, hum as you breathe out, just with the tongue of your mind. So, hum. And then finally, gazing within. Into that inner universe. And opening up to the concept of surrendering ourself, the doer self, to simply for a perfect moment being exactly as you are in this present moment. And then begin to take some larger breaths in. And as you release the breath, think of letting go to be well on all levels. And another breath, even larger, drawing in energy and vitality and letting go to this moment. And then when you're ready, gently blinking the eyes and coming back out into the room. Thank you, Barry.
Well, thank you. That was wonderful. I mean, so tell the guests that are watching how can they take your class online?
Well, probably the best thing to do if they went to my website and if they go to if they go to my website, the information should be on my website, or they can email me. And the website is Raja Yogis, RAJAYOGIS.net. And my email is Michele with one L at rajayogis.net. So one of those two ways. The second session is this afternoon, so if people wanted to jump on, they'd be more than welcome.
And so on that same website, can they have access to both of your books, or could they
Yes,
find them?
actually.
Yes, it is in that one. However, my website is enlightenednegotiation.com, and I have that book as well as the new book that it came not long ago, Evolving Leadership for Collective Well-Being. That was the book that was written with International Leadership Association, gathered 20 thought leaders around the globe to write a manual for United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and I have contributed a chapter to that. So both books are going to be on my website, yes.
It's awesome. And when will you be back at the ranch, the two of you? Soon, I hope.
And wait, as a matter of fact, we are scheduled for October.
Okay.
We are looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it too. Keep doing all the great things you guys are doing in the world.
Thank you,
So
Barry.
appreciate you
And
spending
give our
time
love
with
to
me.
Deborah. Tell her we're
I'll
sorry
give
we
you-
missed her.
We're all sorry we missed her. I'm gonna go give her a little scolding right now. So
Oh, right.
I know you can.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right.
thank you so much. You guys have a great day. I so appreciate you.